Hello friends, as you guys can see from the title, we are doing a swatching comparison video with the new Mario palette, you guys. I am so excited about this palette. You guys know that with the first one, I hesitated on purchasing it the first round because I heard a lot of negative stuff about it, so I skipped out on it. Then when it got re-released, I decided to just go with my gut and get it, and I fell in love with the formula. So as soon as I saw this one, I knew I wanted it. The cool tone color story of this one is just right up my alley. And you guys know, I am not a cool tone person, but this spoke to my heart. So today I posted on my community post asking you guys what exactly you wanted me to do with this palette. I've seen quite a few videos on it. Again, I'm not part of the rat race. I wasn't trying to get a video up right away, and with everyday life stuff, I couldn't get to it anyway. So I asked you guys what you guys wanted to see. Majority ruled. I got a lot of comments saying, please do a swatch comparison with other palettes you have in your collection. So that is what we're doing today. So if you're interested to see what maybe palettes you might have in your collection that you could skip out on this one, just stay tuned. Alrighty, you guys. So here is the new Mario palette. This is exactly the same packaging as the first release that he did. The first release was more warm tones, as you guys know. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it in other videos, so I didn't want to pull it out and follow everyone else. So you guys know this one is called the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. This is obviously the sister of the first one. More cooler tone, same setup, same format, with your three toppers, a shimmery one with a base, and then you have your mattes and a satin in here. So I love this color story. You guys know I don't do a lot of blues, and I got rid of quite a few palettes that had a lot of blues in them. When I saw this blue, this is the kind of blue that I feel that looks the best on my eyes. It really makes my eyes stand out, the brown in my eyes. So when I saw this blue, I was like, yes, I need to have that blue. These are like the blues that I enjoy, the navy blues, the black blues. Those are the ones that I actually genuinely enjoy, not so much the brighter blue. Not saying that I don't have bright blues, it's just my preference. I prefer these. These are more flattering on my eyes, at least in my opinion, that's what I think. So this palette is $68. It is a hefty price. Yes, I am fully aware of that, but I knew I would get use out of this, and this is perfect for coming up during the holidays, during the winter season. It is a beautiful everyday palette for those that don't want a lot of color. I think this is perfect for them. So you obviously can get it at Sephora, on his website, and there's coupons out there, you guys. The VIB sale's coming up, I believe. So if you want to hold off on that, I actually wanted to get this one. You guys know I'm not buying a lot of eyeshadow palettes. When I saw this one, I automatically jumped on it. I was so excited to get this one. So as you guys know, with all of my comparison videos, we are first going to swatch this palette, so then you guys can see how it swatches and what the color story looks like, which I'm sure you've seen it at this point, but obviously comparing to the other palettes that I'm going to share with you guys, I obviously wanted to do that. So here we go. All right, you guys, so here are the swatches of it. I will tell you, oh my goodness, this color right here, in my angle, I could see purpley pink. On your side, you guys can see greenish tones to it. It is so beautiful. These, just the formula of these alone, when you touch them, oh my goodness, they are legit like silk. Legit like silk. And I love this. I love these 4 shades for smoky eye. Like, this is beautiful. And you guys know I'm not into grays, but grays with blues, I think they're absolutely beautiful. As every time I do with all of my swatches, I do not dig. I graze over the eyeshadow just so you guys can see the actual pigmentation of it with a light hand. So this is what we're getting from it. My understanding is that this palette may have some new formulas in it as well. I believe this is a new formula. There might be a few new formulas in here as well. So he has about like 4 different kinds of formulas in this palette. So I think this is beautiful. Just watching it, like this color right here, cannot wait to put that one over that brown. Ooh, I'm excited. I haven't been excited about a palette in a really long time, and this just sparked my joy again. So now we're going to go ahead and compare it to other palettes. Okay, so as you know, I always try to share with you guys any palettes in my collection, whether they're discontinued, limited edition or not, because some of you may have it in your collection. So I'm going to share with you guys what I have, and then look in your collection, check it out and see what you have similar in your collection. Depending on what it is that you like out of this palette, you may already have a palette in your collection. So first one that I thought about was the Lorac Mini Pro palette in Mystic Oat. I am not sure if these are still available. They might be available still on the Lorac website. I purchased mine off of the Ulta website, and I think these are amazing for what they are. So this is a 6-pan palette. You can clearly tell that it is very cool toned. It doesn't have the blues. It has a similar black, but it has the same kind of vibe going on. These are more of a metallic finish versus these glitter toppers or that soft shimmer with a slight base. But I wanted to share it with you guys. So if you maybe just wanted it without this color right here, this might be similar. You may not care for these glitter toppers, these sheer toppers, and you want something more metallic. So maybe these are it. Now the brown is obviously, it looks more yellow in this one versus these. You look more, a little bit more gray. And then this one, so you're kind of seeing what I'm seeing. Like if I were to swatch this one, you're not getting apples to apples, but you're getting similar vibes. This is what I mean. So this is more, has more like a glisten. This has more of a base to it. You guys can see that even if I swatch like this light one, see, it has a little bit more grit, more texture versus these from the Mario one are a little bit more smooth. But the Lorac ones have a little bit more texture, but they're still beautiful and they're still in the same family of that cool toneness. So if maybe you just want something small, maybe a color story like this one right here, and this one looks so similar. The one from Mario is a bit darker. I don't know if you guys can see that. See, it's a bit darker than the one in the Lorac, but it looks like it's almost the same. No, this one's a little bit darker. But you see what I mean? You're getting the vibes. You're getting the vibes, and that's what we're doing. We're not getting exact dupes. We're not getting it per shadow. This is more of just seeing what you have. So this is the first palette that I say, and I love this formula, and I love this little palette. This little palette surprised me because you guys know I'm not into cool tones, but yep, I'm loving it. Up next is the ColourPop of Quartz, you guys. So I couldn't do this video without this one. This is an inexpensive one. And again, you can see the undertones are very similar. It's these gray browns, and that's what I love about this palette, and that's what drew me to purchase this palette. It's those gray browns. I'm so excited that I see a lot of similarities. Like for instance, this shade right here, and then this shade right here. Ooh, so close, you guys. Can you guys see that? Oh my goodness. So this one is the one from the ColourPop, and then this one, oh my gosh. They're almost. This has more brown. This has a little bit more purpley gray. Oh my gosh, that is so exciting, you guys. So you guys can see there's a little bit of the undertones in here that I'm very excited about that I get to see. Now, obviously, the formula in this is going to be totally different from this one. You're not getting those sheer toppers. These are definitely more of a straight up metallic. Why isn't this? I can't stand it when my camera doesn't focus. You guys can see it right there. See those two? They're beautiful, but it's not the same as these. Even the feel of them. This is more of a sheer topper with a little bit more of a base, but these are like legit metallic. So you're not getting exactly the same. Even this one's a more of I feel like this color is a mixture of these two, the blue and the black, because it's not black, but it's not exactly blue. So you're not getting exactly, you're getting a morph. See how that has blue undertones to it? It's not a black, but it's not a blue. And if I were to show you the black that's in the of Quartz, it has shimmer to it. So it's not exactly like the black in the Mario. See? I feel like this one's a morph of these two from the Mario palette. But you're getting the vibes. You're getting even those deeper tones. Like So this is very similar. So if you're interested in more of the undertone of it, this would be one of your close ones to have. And if you don't care for that blue, you kind of get it with this one right here, where it's more of a gray blue instead of your navy blue on there. You can see that right there. And these two, my goodness, are so close. Couldn't do this video without actually pulling out the Naked Smoky. Now, this has been far discontinued, but you guys, this is a palette that I've always loved and that has stood the test of time over and over. When cool tones were not a thing, this was one of the few palettes that I had besides another one in here that I can say are my oldest, but I love them. And the formula is still very relevant till this day. So if you guys can see, like, these are very close, very close. You're getting these matte shades in here. Oh my goodness, look at that, you guys. This is Naked, and then this is the Mario one, but you guys can see what I'm talking about. They're very, very close. And then you're getting these browns in here. Oh my goodness. So that's the Naked palette, and then this is the Mario one. Mario one, this is a lot more brown. This has a little bit more yellowish to it. You guys can see it there. Then we move on to these. Like, this is the black in here. It's like a black and gray. Obviously, the Mario one is a little bit deeper. Mario, Naked. You guys can see that the Naked one is more gray than black. Then we move on to this one. This is like the closest blue, but it's like a blue-gray again. It's not the same, but you're getting that vibe. So that's more gray blue. And then even for these over here, these are more of like these shades, but these are completely different formulas, but the colors are there. So this color would be a dupe for like this color or this color. You can see it right there. This is from the Naked palette. These are from Mario palette, but you're getting the vibes. See what I'm saying? You're getting it there. And then if you were to use these three from the Naked, so I'm gonna, oh my goodness, I'm running out of space, you guys. Okay, so that's from the Naked palette right there. And if I were to do these, it would be like having these three colors. So you see what I mean? Like, the colors are there, it's just a different finish. This is basically almost the perfect kind of dupe to this one, if I do say so myself. It's actually pretty good, you guys. Like the undertones, the vibe, everything, even down to the shimmers. The three shimmers are kind of like the three shimmers, just different finishes. So if you have the Smoky palette, you may not need this one or may not care to get this one because you have it. It's up to you whether you want the formula and the finishes that are different, but you're basically getting, yeah, like this palette is still standing the test of time. It's still there. It's still relevant. Even this gray, I didn't even swatch, you guys. Even the gray. Oh my. Oh my. So you see the difference? But you're getting a gray. You are getting a gray. So this is by far the best comparison one that I have. I'm very shocked. All right, Mario. Did you remember the Smoky palette from Urban Decay? Because I'm thinking you did. So if you have that one, maybe pull it out and see if this just quenches your thirst and you don't need this one. Up next is the Viseart Cool Matte palette. And this is one of my older ones, just like the Naked Smoky. Those are the two that I've had for a really long time. And the ones that I've always like stuck with when it came to cool tones, because cool tones weren't a thing for a while. I have used this one and I do enjoy it. I do like it. But if you're looking for a dupe exactly, you're not really going to get it unless you're looking for those brownish and grayish tones. You are getting the blue here. So this blue looks like it's more purple based than the one from, yep, I can already tell. So the one from Viseart is more purple based. But you are getting the blue in there if you were interested in that one. But as far as any of the shimmers, this is a completely matte palette. This one involves a pink. It doesn't have a black. Well, I would say this is more like a gray color. I wouldn't say this is more of, yeah, see, it's more like a grayish tone. It's not necessarily a black. So I wouldn't say it's really a black in there. But you guys can see, like, if you have this one and you just don't want the shimmers, maybe this might be something you might go for. I don't think they have it in this packaging anymore. My understanding is that this kind of packaging they got they're basically not using as much. They're using more of like the $40 range one. So these shades are a little bit smaller. But I wanted to bring this one up just in case for those that just wanted an all matte palette, didn't really care for the shimmery kind of glittery things, and you just want something matte, this might be something to look into. Okay, so when I thought of this cool tone with the blue, I thought of the Pat McGrath, what's the name of this one? Mothership One Subliminal. So this is her first one, and I thought about it because of this blue in here. Obviously, this blue is a little bit more vibrant. This is another blue that I do appreciate just because it's a deeper blue. It's not super bright, but it is something that I could go with. As you guys can see, it's completely different. But I figured I'd share it with you guys just in case you just had what you had. This one right here, I think would be a more of like, the Pat McGrath version is more like on crack. Because it does have the same, like on my angle, this has more blue shifting. This one has more of like a pinky, soft pink shift. So this is the Mario, and then this is the Pat McGrath. You guys can see the Pat McGrath has more of a blue in it than the Mario one. Mario one has more of a pink hue to it, and this one has more blue, but you're getting that same like topper feel to it. You're getting these cooler tone grays in here. Here's one that can go with this one. This one's more brown based from Pat McGrath, and the one from Mario is more gray based. So here's more options for you guys. And obviously you got the black. Let's see how these black compare. Black. Oh my, they look identical to me. So their potency. Oh, it's a little bit darker black. This one has a little bit more grayish. But you get your black in there as well. So you guys can see what I mean. It's similar. You're getting some of these special shades in here that he has special. It's a little bit different color story. But if you were to cover this up, here's your cooler tone kind of similarity. So if you have this one, you may not want this one because you're okay with this one. And since this one's a lot more money, maybe you want to get more use out of this one and just enjoy it. So you got kind of a similar vibe to it with a little bit of a different changes. These two are definitely different. Okay, two honorable mentions that I want to share with you guys. I don't think these are exactly giving you the same vibes, but I did want to put this out here just because some of us might be thinking that these might be similar. So obviously here is the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. This is one of her cooler tone palettes. You are getting something, but this is definitely not as cool toned as this one goes. So I would say like these grays, but their finishes are a little bit different. I don't see a lot of gray browns in this one. I see more neutral browns in it. So I did want to show you guys side by side because I knew I may have that question being asked. How do they look? I feel like these are two different palettes. If you have one, I think that the other one is completely different from it. So I don't think that if you were to purchase this one, because you have this one and you feel like it might be the same, I don't think so. I think you would come out with completely different looks from both and not feel like it's repetitive. So I did want to share because there's no point in me swatching anything in here. I just wanted to point that out just in case you had that in your thought process and were curious about it. Last but not least is the same concept with this one. This is the Stone Fox palette by ColourPop. This is considered their cooler tone, but as you guys can see, it still has like pinks in it. So it's not giving me the same exact thing. I'm getting a black in here, but I'm not getting the blue. I'm not getting these exact kind of formulas in it. And you're getting a lot more of an array of different tones in here. So even these are kind of like rosy brown, not necessarily what I'm looking for here. There's not a lot of gray in here, a lot of blue, a lot of what we've been seeing here, where the undertone is more of a gray in this palette as a whole versus this one here. But I did want to share that with you guys just in case you might have this one and just are content with this one and don't care to have this blue or these shimmer toppers. And you can pull whatever you want in here and you have these. So this is another one that's like an honorable mention just in case you were wondering how they compared. I don't think that these two are very similar either. So these are all of my cool tone palettes that I have in my collection. As you guys know, I've said it before, cool tones is not something I purchase. And if I do, the color story has to really speak to me in order for me to purchase it. This is what I consider my cool tones. And you guys can see that they're not all the same. I love that these are not all the same. I don't have repeat formulas in here, repeat color stories. And now with this one, the closest one that I would say is a dupe to it is this Naked Smoky. That's no longer available for purchase. So if you missed out on that one, maybe you want to get this one, because I do love my Naked Smoky. I think that that's one that, like I mentioned, it just stood the test of time, and that's why I kept it, because it was so different from the rest of my collection. And now I have something that's similar to it, but different formula. So I can justify this purchase with it. I hope I was able to help you guys to search through your collection, see the undertones of this palette, so that maybe you can check it out on your collection to see if you have the similar vibes to it. Obviously, I don't have an exact dupe, and that's not my intent. My intent is just to share with you guys palette ideas and encourage you to shop your stash, make up your own palette through singles, whatever the case may be. And if there's like 1 or 2 shades in here that really appeal to you, you can find them as singles. Indie brands are notorious for having these sheer toppers. Urban Decay has their Moon Dust shadows that are very similar to this. Moira has a formula that's similar to this. So there's plenty of companies out there that will give you what you want if you just want 1 or 2 shades out of this instead of spending the $68 that this palette costs. Is it expensive? Absolutely. But for me, this, I am so excited to play around with it. This was worth it to me because this is unique. As you guys can see, out of the hundreds of palettes I have in my collection, this is my cool tone collection right here. Mostly warm tones are my jam. So when I see a cool tone that really calls my name, I'm going to get it, because I know that I have them few and far between. And the ones that I have, you guys can see that they are well loved. So I hope this helped. If you do have any palettes that I did not mention or that I do not own, because obviously I'm not buying a ton, leave it down in the comment section so then other friends can see and maybe they might have it in their collection and you can help them out by shopping their own stash. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the video on the screen. Until then, bye.